The Federal Bureau of Investigation agent's badge glinted under my porch light as rain hammered the roof. Mrs. Chen, we need you to stay calm. Your son does not know we are here yet. Through my living room window, I could see Michael at my kitchen table. The same table where 3 days ago he had said those words I would never forget. Just sign here, Mom. You will not even remember this tomorrow anyway. My hands trembled. Not from the stroke 6 months ago, but from the rage building since I sat in James Morrison's office 72 hours earlier. Mrs. Chen, I need to ask you about $340,000 that has disappeared from your accounts. $340,000. My husband's life insurance, his final gift to keep me safe. And our son had been stealing it. Systematically. While I recovered from a stroke that made me forget where I put my glasses. Mrs. Chen? The agent pulled me back. When he opens that laptop, we will have everything we need. Are you ready? I looked at Michael through the window, smiling as he typed, moving more of my money. The rage that filled me was surgical and precise. I am ready. My name is Dorothy Chen. I am 68 years old, and I taught high school mathematics for 35 years before I retired. If you had told me 6 months ago that I would be standing on my porch with federal agents, watching them prepare to arrest my own son, I would have said you were crazy. But here I am. And if you are listening to this story, I need you to know something important. What happened to me could happen to anyone. It does not matter how smart you are, how careful you have been, or how much you love your children. Elder financial abuse is an epidemic, and it almost destroyed me. Before I tell you how I survived it, I want to know, where are you listening from right now? Are you at home? Driving? Taking a walk? Drop a comment and let me know. Because this story is not just about me. It is about all of us learning to protect ourselves and the people we love. Now, let me take you back to where this nightmare began. The morning my world started unraveling, I stood in my kitchen staring at my pill organizer like it was written in a foreign language. Tuesday. It was Tuesday. The stroke happened 4 weeks ago. My neurologist said the memory issues would improve. They had not. Mom? Michael stood in my doorway holding expensive coffee. Hazelnut, my favorite. Michael, sweetheart, I did not hear you come in. I used my key. He set the coffee down, and warmth spread through my chest. Ever since the stroke, Michael visited twice a week instead of his usual Sunday dinners, checking on me, helping with bills that confused me now. Here, let me help. He took the pill organizer from my hands. Tuesday, right? Blood pressure, cholesterol, baby aspirin. He handed me the pills and water, watching me swallow them, the way he watched when he was small, making sure I ate my vegetables. My good boy. Mom, I have been thinking. Michael pulled out a chair. The bills, the insurance paperwork, your investments, it is a lot, especially with your memory. He paused, and I saw something flicker across his face. Concern. Worry. Love. At least, that is what I thought I saw. I want to help, really help. Vanessa and I think I should handle your finances temporarily, until you are feeling better. Michael had always been thoughtful. When his father died 3 years ago, Michael handled everything. The funeral, the insurance, the endless paperwork. I do not want to be a burden, I whispered. Mom. He covered my hand with his. You could never be a burden. You raised me alone after Dad's accident. You worked 2 jobs for my college. You are the strongest person I know. His eyes were wet. Something in my chest cracked open. Okay, if it would help. I just need you to sign a power of attorney, temporary, so I can access your accounts to pay bills. Nothing major. The papers appeared from his briefcase, official documents with tiny print that swam before my eyes. Where do I sign? Michael's finger pointed. Bottom line. Then another. I signed, because he was my son. I signed because the stroke made everything frightening. I signed because I trusted him. All done. Michael gathered the papers quickly. I will take care of everything now, Mom. You just focus on getting better. He kissed my forehead and left. The expensive coffee grew cold on my counter. Medical bills covered my kitchen table. Do not worry about those, Mom. Michael appeared in my doorway. I am handling it. That is why you signed the power of attorney, remember? He scooped up the envelopes. I set up automatic payments. Everything is handled. Relief washed over me. Michael was taking care of it. How is the new business? I asked. The consulting thing? Something flickered across his face, too fast to identify. Going well, really well. We are picking up new clients every week. Mom, I need to borrow your debit card, just for a few days. Problem with my business account. He was already pulling it from my wallet. I will have it back by Friday. Friday came and went. My card did not come back. The following Monday, my credit card was declined at the grocery store. The cashier's patient pity made heat flush my face as people behind me sighed. I am sorry, I whispered, abandoning my cart. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, trying to remember what bills Michael was handling and what were still mine. Trying to remember when my life became so impossibly complicated. The letter from Fidelity Investments arrived on a Tuesday. Dear Mrs. Chen, this letter confirms your annual portfolio review with James Morrison, Senior Financial Advisor, scheduled for October 15th at 2 in the afternoon. October 15th was tomorrow. I did not remember scheduling this, but I did not remember a lot of things anymore. I almost canceled. Michael was handling my finances now. He could go instead. But some small voice whispered that I should go. So I did. The Fidelity office smelled like new carpet and old money. Mrs. Chen? The man in the doorway had kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. I am James Morrison. Thank you for coming. His office had family photographs, a golden retriever, a boat on a lake, normal things, safe things. I appreciate you making time for this annual review, James said, opening a folder. I like meeting clients face-to-face to make sure we are aligned with your financial goals. He pulled up his computer screen, pleasant, professional. Then he paused. His fingers stopped moving. The pleasant expression shifted into something that made my stomach drop. Mrs. Chen, I need to ask you about some recent account activity. He turned his monitor toward me. Numbers, dates, transactions. Over the past 4 months, there have been 23 withdrawals from your accounts, totaling $340,000. The number hit me like a physical blow. That cannot be right. I assure you it is accurate. James's eyes were gentle but firm. Did you authorize these withdrawals? Michael is handling my finances now. He has power of attorney. These withdrawals occurred before the power of attorney was filed. James clicked something. It was registered 6 weeks ago. These transactions started 4 months before that. The office felt too small, too hot. I could not catch my breath. I do not understand. James leaned forward, delivering news that would shatter a world. These withdrawals were not authorized by you. The signatures do not match your signature on file. The room tilted. What are you saying? His next words were quiet, professional, devastating. Someone has been systematically stealing from your accounts. Based on the IP addresses, I believe that someone is accessing them from your home. The fluorescent lights hummed. A phone rang down the hall. And I finally understood. Michael was not helping me. Michael was robbing me. I sat frozen in James Morrison's office, staring at numbers that made no sense. $340,000. Gone. Mrs. Chen, I need you to understand what we are looking at. James clicked through screens. 23 transactions over 4 months, each between $8,000 and $25,000. The pattern is sophisticated. Whoever did this kept each withdrawal under $10,000 to avoid federal reporting triggers. They spaced them out over weeks. They created fake invoices to justify the transfers. My mouth felt dry. Fake invoices? He pulled up a document. Home care services, medical equipment, therapy sessions, all from companies that do not exist. The room spun. The signatures, I whispered. You said they do not match mine. James placed two documents side by side, my real signature. And something close, but wrong. Someone practiced forging your signature. They got close, not close enough to fool an expert. Ice water filled my veins. The IP addresses came from your home internet service, James said quietly, which means someone in your house did this. I could not say it, could not say my son's name because that would make it real. My son Michael has a key. He has been helping me since my stroke. When did you sign the power of attorney? 6 weeks ago, after I came home from the hospital. These withdrawals started 4 months ago, 2 months before your stroke. The implication crushed me. Michael had been stealing before I got sick. The stroke just made it easier. This is elder financial abuse, James said. Federal crime. I am legally required to report it to the authorities. My heart hammered. What happens then? The Federal Bureau of Investigation investigates. If they find evidence, he paused. Your son will go to prison. Prison. The boy I raised alone. The boy I worked 2 jobs to put through college. I cannot do that to him. There has to be another way. James's expression was kind but firm. He stole $340,000. That is systematic, premeditated theft, and it is still happening. Still happening? He turned his monitor. $15,000 withdrawn this morning, transferred to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. This morning. While I dressed for this appointment, Michael was stealing more. Where did the rest go? James scrolled. $60,000 to gambling websites, $80,000 to credit card companies, paying massive debt, $30,000 to a luxury car dealership. The rest, offshore accounts, untraceable without federal investigation. Gambling, how had I not known? Do you have other family? James asked. I thought of Sarah, my daughter. 5 years of silence because Michael said she was toxic, after my money. Michael. Always Michael. I have a daughter, but we do not speak. Why not? Michael said she was trying to manipulate me. The irony hung between us. James was quiet. Then he said, I lost my mother to elder financial abuse. Her caregiver stole everything over 2 years. She died penniless while the thief lived in a house bought with my mother's money. His voice was steady. His eyes were not. I became a financial advisor because of that. I report every case because I could not save my mother, but maybe I can save someone else's. Tears burned behind my eyes. What do I do? Let me make a phone call. He picked up his desk phone. I have a friend at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent Rebecca Martinez. She specializes in financial crimes and elder abuse. Will you talk to her? Every instinct screamed to say no, to protect Michael. But the part of me that taught mathematics for 35 years, that believed in truth, knew there was no other way. Yes, I will talk to her. James dialed. While the phone rang, I thought about Michael's tears when he called me the strongest person he knew, the expensive coffee, the forehead kiss, all performance, all manipulation, all designed to steal from the woman who gave him everything. Agent Martinez, this is James Morrison at Fidelity. I have a client who needs your help. Urgent. He handed me the phone. A woman's voice, professional, calm. Mrs. Chen, I am Special Agent Rebecca Martinez. James told me you might be experiencing financial exploitation. Can you tell me what has been happening? I told her everything. The stroke, the power of attorney. The $340,000. My son. Long pause. Mrs. Chen, I am going to help you, but you must do exactly what I say. Can you do that? Yes. First, do not confront your son. If he realizes you know, he will destroy evidence and disappear. Understand? My throat closed. Yes. Second, document everything, every visit, conversation, paper he asks you to sign. I can try. You will do more than try. Steel wrapped in velvet. You are going to help me build a federal case. You are going to get your money back, and your son will face consequences. Consequences. Prison. My son in handcuffs. I do not know if I can. Yes, you can. You taught mathematics for 35 years. You raised 2 children alone. You survived a stroke. You are stronger than you think, and you are not alone anymore. Something in her voice made me believe her. Okay. I am coming to your house tomorrow, 2 o'clock, dressed like a home health nurse checking on your stroke recovery. If anyone asks, that is who I am. Acceptable? This was really happening. Yes, 2 o'clock tomorrow. Excellent. One more thing, Mrs. Chen. Yes? Call your daughter, the one you have not spoken to in 5 years. You are going to need her. The line went dead. I sat holding a silent phone, my world shattered and somehow just beginning to rebuild. I sat in my car in the Fidelity parking lot for 30 minutes before I found the courage to dial. Sarah's number was still in my phone. 5 years of silence, but I had never deleted it. My finger hovered over the call button. What would I say? Hello, sweetheart. I know I have not spoken to you in 5 years because your brother convinced me you were a manipulative gold digger, but it turns out he was the one stealing from me. So can we talk? I pressed call before I could change my mind. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Maybe she would not answer. Maybe she had deleted my number. Maybe she had moved on and built a life that did not include a mother who chose her son over her daughter. Hello? Sarah's voice, cautious, uncertain. Sarah, my voice cracked. It is Mom. Silence, long enough that I thought she might hang up. Mom? Disbelief. Is everything okay? Are you sick? No, yes, I took a breath. I had a stroke 6 months ago, but I am okay now. Mostly okay. You had a stroke? Her voice rose. 6 months ago, and nobody told me? Michael said you were busy with your new job, that you did not want to be bothered. Another silence. This one felt different. Sharper. Of course he did. Bitter. Angry. Mom, I have been trying to reach you for 5 years. I have sent cards, emails. I have driven to your house 3 times, and every time Michael was there, telling me you did not want to see me. The parking lot blurred. I did not know, I whispered. He told me you never tried to contact me, that you had moved on. Mom, I am your daughter. I would never move on from you. Michael has been... She stopped. Started again. Why are you calling now? What happened? So I told her. I told her about the stroke, the power of attorney, the $340,000, James Morrison, Agent Martinez, everything. When I finished, Sarah was crying. That bastard, she said. That absolute bastard. Mom, 5 years ago when I tried to warn you about Michael's gambling problem, do you remember what happened? My throat closed. You said he was borrowing money from you. That he owed you $15,000. He owed me $30,000, and when I told you I was worried about him, Michael told you I was lying, that I was trying to turn you against him so I could control your money, and you believed him. I'm so sorry. I know. Sarah's voice softened. I know, Mom, and I forgive you, but we need to fix this. Where are you right now? In my car, outside the Fidelity office. Stay there. I am coming to get you. Do not go home alone. Do not see Michael alone. Do you understand? Agent Martinez said the same thing. Smart woman. I will be there in 20 minutes. The line went dead. I sat in my car, watching people walk in and out of the building. Normal people living normal lives where their sons did not rob them and their daughters did not disappear for 5 years. My phone buzzed. A text from Michael. Hey Mom, stopping by tonight around 7 to check on you. Need you to sign some papers. Love you. Need you to sign some papers. My hands shook as I stared at those words. How many times had he said that? How many papers had I signed without reading them? How much money had disappeared with my forged signature at the bottom of fake invoices? I typed back, Okay, sweetheart, see you then. The lie tasted like metal in my mouth. Sarah looked older, 5 years older, yes, but also harder, sharper. The softness I remembered was gone, replaced by something that looked like steel wrapped in expensive business clothes. She hugged me in the parking lot, and I felt her body shake. I missed you so much, she whispered. I missed you too. We sat in her car, a nice car, newer than anything I owned, and she listened while I repeated everything for the second time that day. Agent Martinez is coming tomorrow, I said, dressed as a home health nurse. Good. What else did she say? Document everything. Do not confront Michael. Act normal. Can you do that? Sarah studied my face. Can you look your son in the eye tonight and pretend everything is fine while knowing he has been stealing from you? Could I? I have to, I said. Agent Martinez said if he realizes I know, he will destroy evidence and disappear. Sarah nodded slowly. Okay. Then here is what we are going to do. I am coming with you tonight when Michael visits. He will ask why you are there. And you will tell him that we reconciled, that you reached out to me after your stroke, that I wanted to help you. Sarah's smile was cold. Let him think he is still in control. Let him think his manipulation is still working. What if he suspects? He will not. Michael always underestimated me. He probably still thinks I am the naive 25-year-old he manipulated 5 years ago. She started her car. But I am not that person anymore. And he is about to find out what a mistake he made. Michael arrived at 7 o'clock exactly, carrying Chinese takeout and a smile. The smile died when he saw Sarah sitting at my kitchen table. What is she doing here? Not even a hello, just immediate hostility. Hello, Michael, Sarah said pleasantly. It is nice to see you too. Mom? Michael looked at me. What is going on? I called Sarah after my appointment today, I said, keeping my voice steady. I realized I have been angry for too long. Life is too short. The stroke made me think about family. Michael's jaw tightened. The stroke was 6 months ago. Why now? Because I finally had the courage, I said. Sarah is my daughter. I want her in my life again. I watched Michael's face, watched him process, watched him decide whether to fight this or pretend to accept it. He chose pretense. That is great, Mom. Forced smile. I am happy you two are talking again. Family is important. The hypocrisy was stunning. I brought dinner, Michael said, setting the Chinese food on the counter. Kung Pao chicken, your favorite. He moved through my kitchen like he owned it, opening drawers for silverware, finding plates in the cabinet, pouring water into glasses, all while Sarah watched him with eyes that missed nothing. So, Sarah, Michael said as we sat down to eat, what have you been up to for the past 5 years? Working, building my career, living my life. Doing well, I see. He gestured at her expensive watch. That Rolex is nice. I work hard. I am sure you do. Something nasty underneath the pleasant tone. Some of us have to actually work for our money instead of just expecting it to be handed to us. Sarah smiled. Yes, some of us do. The tension at the table was thick enough to cut. Mom, I brought those papers I mentioned. Michael pulled a folder from his briefcase. Just some routine financial stuff. Authorizations for the investment accounts. Nothing major. He spread them across the table. Official-looking documents with tiny print and signature lines marked with yellow tabs. What exactly are these for? Sarah asked before I could respond. Michael's eyes flickered with annoyance. They are for Mom's accounts. I am managing her finances while she recovers from her stroke. Interesting. Because Mom seems perfectly capable of managing her own finances. The stroke affected her short-term memory. The doctors said she needs help with complex tasks. Did they? Sarah turned to me. Mom, did your neurologist say you cannot manage your own finances? I remembered my last appointment. Dr. Williams had said my memory was improving, that I was doing remarkably well, that there was no reason I could not handle my own affairs. No, I said quietly. He said I was recovering well. Michael's smile tightened. Mom, you know you get confused sometimes. Remember when you could not remember if you took your pills? That was 6 months ago, right after the stroke. Still, better safe than sorry. He pushed the papers toward me. Just sign here. I will take care of everything. I do not think Mom should sign anything without reading it first, Sarah said. Or better yet, without having a lawyer review it. A lawyer? Michael's voice rose slightly. Why would she need a lawyer? I am her son. I have been taking care of her. Then you should not mind if she takes a few days to review these documents. Michael's face flushed. Sarah, I do not know what you are trying to do here, but I am trying to make sure our mother understands what she is signing. Is that a problem? The air in my kitchen crackled with tension. Michael looked at me, really looked at me, and for just a moment, I saw something in his eyes that made my blood run cold. Suspicion. Mom, can I talk to you? Alone? Anything you need to say, you can say in front of Sarah, I said. Mom. Warning in his voice now. Please. Sarah stood. I will give you 2 a minute. I need to use the restroom anyway. She left, but I knew she was listening from the hallway. Michael leaned forward the moment she was gone. What did you tell her? What? What did you tell Sarah about your finances? About the accounts? My heart hammered. Nothing. Why would I? She is acting strange, asking questions, trying to stop you from signing necessary paperwork. She is just being protective. Or she is trying to manipulate you again. Michael's voice was urgent now, desperate. Mom, you need to sign these papers tonight. There are deadlines. If you do not sign them, there could be penalties. Fees. You could lose money. What kind of deadlines? Financial ones. Investment windows. It is complicated. You would not understand. There it was, the subtle dismissal. The implication that I was too old, too confused, too damaged by my stroke to understand my own finances. I think I will wait, I said. Like Sarah suggested, have a lawyer look at them. Michael's face went white, then red. A lawyer? Mom? That will take weeks. Cost money you do not need to spend. I'm trying to help you here. Then a few days will not matter. He stared at me, and in that stare, I saw the moment he realized something had changed. Something had shifted. I was not the confused, vulnerable woman he had been manipulating for 6 months. I was someone else now. Someone who was asking questions. Michael gathered his papers slowly. Fine, take your time. But do not come crying to me when there are penalties and fees because you listened to Sarah instead of your son who has been taking care of you. He left without eating dinner, without kissing my forehead, without saying he loved me. Sarah appeared in the doorway the moment his car pulled out of my driveway. He knows something is wrong, she said. I know. Tomorrow might get ugly, I know that too. We sat at my kitchen table, Chinese food growing cold, and waited for tomorrow to come. The doorbell rang at exactly 2 o'clock the next afternoon. I opened it to find a woman in blue scrubs carrying a medical bag. Mid-40s, kind face, professional demeanor. Anyone watching would see a home health nurse making a routine visit. Good afternoon, Mrs. Chen. I am Rebecca from Premier Home Health. I am here for your post-stroke evaluation. Please come in. Agent Rebecca Martinez stepped into my home, and I closed the door behind her. She did not drop the act until she had walked through my entire house, checking windows, looking at sight lines from the street. Professional. Thorough. When she returned to my living room, she finally spoke normally. Your home is not under surveillance. We are clear. She set her medical bag on my coffee table and pulled out a small device. This is a recording device. Everything Michael says from now on will be documented. I need you to keep this in your pocket whenever he visits. My hand shook as I took it, smaller than a pen, nearly invisible. I cannot do this. Yes, you can. Agent Martinez sat beside me. Mrs. Chen, I have been investigating financial elder abuse for 8 years. I have seen dozens of cases, and I can tell you with certainty that your son will not stop on his own. He will drain every dollar you have, and then he will disappear, unless we stop him. He is my son. I know, and that is exactly why this is so painful. But he stopped being your son the moment he forged your signature to steal from you. She opened a folder. I spent last night reviewing your accounts with James Morrison. Do you want to know what I found? I nodded, though I was not sure I could handle more. The gambling addiction is worse than we thought. Michael owes money to multiple bookies, not just online sites. Real people, dangerous people. He is in debt to the tune of $430,000. My vision blurred. $430,000? Sports betting, high-stakes poker games. He has been gambling for at least 3 years, and 6 months ago, his creditors gave him an ultimatum. Pay up, or face serious consequences. What kind of consequences? Agent Martinez met my eyes, the kind that put people in hospitals, or worse. The room tilted. So the stroke timing, I whispered, was not coincidence. 6 months ago, Michael needed money desperately. Your stroke created the perfect opportunity. You became vulnerable, confused, easy to manipulate. As she clicked through documents on her tablet. And then there is Vanessa. His wife? Your daughter-in-law has been spending stolen money like it is Christmas every day. New car, jewelry, designer clothes, private school tuition for your grandchildren, spa memberships, a vacation to Hawaii last month. She knows exactly where the money is coming from. Bile rose in my throat. She knows? Oh, she knows. In fact, we have text messages between them discussing how much longer they can keep taking money before you notice. Agent Martinez turned her tablet toward me. I read Michael's words to his wife. Mom signed another authorization today. That's $25,000 we can move tomorrow. She didn't even read it, LOL. This is almost too easy. Vanessa's response. Good. I already ordered the new furniture. When do you think we can get the rest? I want to redo the kitchen. Michael. Patience, babe. If we drain it too fast, she'll notice. Gotta keep her thinking I'm the devoted son. The laughing emoji destroyed me. My son. My devoted son. Laughing about stealing from me. There is more, Agent Martinez said gently. The offshore accounts are not just for hiding money. Michael has been planning to leave the country. What? He has been researching non-extradition countries, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, places where American authorities cannot touch him. Our analysis suggests he is planning to drain your remaining accounts completely, then disappear with Vanessa and your grandchildren. The floor disappeared beneath me. When? Soon, maybe weeks. The pressure from his creditors is increasing. Yesterday, one of them showed up at his house. We have that on surveillance. Michael is running out of time, which makes him dangerous. Dangerous how? Agent Martinez closed her tablet. Desperate people do desperate things, Mrs. Chen. Right now, Michael sees you as a problem. You refused to sign his papers last night. You brought Sarah back into your life. You are asking questions. He knows something has changed, even if he does not know what. What will he do? I do not know. But I need you to promise me something. Do not be alone with him, ever. If he calls and wants to visit, make sure Sarah is there. Or call me immediately. Do you understand? I understood. My son was not just a thief. He was potentially dangerous. What happens now? Now we gather evidence. The recording device will capture his attempts to manipulate you. We monitor his communications with Vanessa and his creditors. We trace every dollar, and when we have an airtight case, we move in. How long? Days, maybe a week. He is making mistakes now, getting sloppy. The pressure is getting to him. She stood. I need to go. I have been here 20 minutes, long enough for a basic home health evaluation. But I will be watching your house, unmarked car, rotating shifts. You will not see us, but we are there. Thank you. Do not thank me yet. Agent Martinez picked up her medical bag. The hard part is just beginning. She left through my front door, playing her role perfectly, waving goodbye like a friendly nurse, getting into her car with medical equipment visible in the back seat. And I sat in my living room, holding a recording device smaller than my finger, wondering how my life had become a crime drama. He called 3 hours later. Mom, we need to talk. Now. I am actually tired, sweetheart. Maybe tomorrow. No, tonight. I am coming over in 20 minutes. He hung up before I could respond. I called Sarah immediately. He is coming. Angry. I will be there in 10 minutes. Do not open the door until I arrive. I slipped the recording device into my cardigan pocket, my heart hammering. True to her word, Sarah arrived first. We sat together on my couch, waiting. Michael's car screeched into my driveway at exactly the 20-minute mark. He did not knock, used his key, burst through my front door like he owned the place. What the hell is going on? Not even a greeting. Michael, calm down. Do not tell me to calm down. His face was flushed, eyes wild. I just got a call from Fidelity. They are freezing all account activity pending a fraud investigation. A fraud investigation, Mom? What did you do? The recording device in my pocket felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I did not do anything. Bullshit. This happened right after your appointment with that financial advisor. What did you tell him? Michael, you need to leave. Sarah stood. You are upset. Come back when you can be civil. Stay out of this. He turned on her. This is your fault, is it not? You got back into Mom's life and poisoned her against me. Nobody poisoned anyone. Mom is capable of making her own decisions. She is not. Michael pointed at me. She has brain damage. She cannot manage her own finances. She needs me. And you are sabotaging that because you want her money for yourself. The projection was stunning. The accounts are frozen because someone has been stealing from them, Sarah said quietly. $340,000 over 4 months. Forged signatures, fake invoices, offshore transfers. Ring any bells? Michael's face went white. I do not know what you are talking about. Yes, you do. Sarah pulled out her phone. Because the Federal Bureau of Investigation is very interested in talking to you about it. You called the FBI? Michael looked at me, betrayal and rage warring on his face. Mom, you called the FBI on your own son? James Morrison called them, I said, my voice shaking. When he discovered the theft. Theft? I was managing your accounts. With your permission. You signed the power of attorney. After you stole from me for 2 months first, Before the stroke. Before I was vulnerable. Michael's jaw clenched. I do not have to listen to this. I do not have to stay here and be accused. Then leave, Sarah said. Because you are right about one thing. This conversation is over. But Michael did not leave. He stood in my living room, chest heaving, hands clenched into fists. And for the first time in my life, I was afraid of my own son. You have no idea what you have done, he said quietly. No idea who you are dealing with. The people I owe money to. They do not care about family. They do not care about excuses. And if you freeze my access to those accounts, I am dead. Do you understand? Dead. Then you should have thought about that before you stole from me, I said, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. Michael laughed, bitter, desperate. You have always been so naive, Mom, so trusting. You actually believe the system will protect you, that the FBI will save you, that Sarah gives a damn about anything except getting her hands on your money. He moved toward the door. Fine, you want to do this the hard way? We will do this the hard way, but do not say I did not warn you. He slammed out of my house. Sarah immediately locked the door behind him. Call Agent Martinez, now. My hands shook as I dialed. She answered on the first ring. Mrs. Chen? He was just here, angry. He knows about the investigation. Did you get it recorded? I touched my pocket. Yes. Good. We just got everything we needed. That was a confession, Mrs. Chen. Implicit, but usable. I am sending a unit to watch your house tonight. Do not leave. Do not open the door for anyone except me. Do you understand? Yes. We are moving up our timeline. Tomorrow morning, we execute the arrest warrant. This ends tomorrow. The line went dead. Sarah and I sat in my living room as darkness fell outside. Tomorrow, my son would be arrested. Tomorrow, everything would be over. But tonight I had to survive knowing that Michael was out there, desperate and dangerous, with nothing left to lose. Sarah insisted on staying the night. We sat in my living room with all the lights on, curtains drawn, doors locked. An unmarked police car sat 3 houses down. I could see it through a gap in the curtains. A small comfort. Tell me about your work, I said, needing distraction from the fear. Sarah smiled. I am a forensic accountant. I track financial crimes for a living. Corporate fraud, embezzlement, money laundering. I testify in court about complex financial schemes. The irony was not lost on me. So when Michael told me 5 years ago that you were after my money, he was projecting. Classic manipulation. Accuse others of what you are doing yourself. She pulled out her laptop. Mom, I need to show you something. Agent Martinez sent me the financial records. With your permission, I want to walk you through what Michael actually did. Okay. Sarah opened a spreadsheet. Numbers and dates filled the screen. This is your account balance on June 1st, 6 months ago. $847,000. I remembered that number. My husband's life insurance, our retirement savings, everything we had built together. And this is your balance today, $493,000. $354,000 gone. But Agent Martinez said $340,000. That was yesterday. He took another $14,000 this morning before the accounts froze. Sarah clicked through screens. Look at the pattern. June through August, he was careful. 8 to 10,000 every 2 weeks. Small enough to avoid attention. But then in September, after your stroke, the amounts increased. 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. Because I was vulnerable. Because he thought he could get away with more. She pulled up another document. But here is what makes me furious. Look at where the money went. A list of transactions appeared. Dozens of them. 68,000 to various gambling sites. 85,000 to credit cards. paying minimum balances on massive debt. $32,000 to a luxury car dealership, $18,000 to a jewelry store, $25,000 to a travel agency for a Hawaii vacation, $12,000 to private school tuition, and the rest, offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Each item felt like a knife. He spent my husband's life insurance on gambling and vacations. While telling you he was helping you, while calling you confused, while isolating you from me. Sarah's voice was hard. Mom, I want you to understand something. What Michael did requires planning. He researched how to forge signatures. He created fake companies with official-looking invoices. He learned about offshore banking. He calculated exactly how much he could steal without triggering automatic fraud alerts. This was not a desperate mistake. This was systematic theft by someone who knew exactly what he was doing. How did he learn all this? Probably online. There are forums where people share techniques for financial fraud, cryptocurrency exchanges, offshore banking guides. It is all there if you know where to look. She closed her laptop. The point is, Michael is not some amateur who made a bad decision. He is a sophisticated criminal who targeted his own mother. The words hung between us. My son, a criminal. Agent Martinez said they are arresting him tomorrow morning. Yes, at his home. 6 in the morning. Standard protocol for financial crimes. They will search his house, seize his electronics, freeze his accounts. Vanessa will be questioned. The whole thing will be very public. The grandchildren will see. Sarah's expression softened. Yes, they will. And that is terrible. But Mom, those children were benefiting from stolen money. Private school paid for with your life insurance. Toys and clothes and vacations funded by your husband's death benefit. They deserve to know the truth. They are 8 and 10 years old. And someday they will be adults who need to understand that actions have consequences. That theft is wrong even when it is family. That loving someone does not mean protecting them from justice. She was right. I knew she was right. But knowing did not make it hurt less. My phone rang at 5:30 in the morning. Mrs. Chen, this is Agent Martinez. The arrest team is in position. We are executing the warrant in 30 minutes. I wanted you to know. Okay. Are you all right? Was I all right? My son was about to be arrested. My grandchildren were about to watch their father taken away in handcuffs. My family was about to be destroyed. No, but I will be. You made the right choice. I know it does not feel like it right now, but you saved yourself, and probably saved Michael from doing something even worse. Thank you. I will call you when it is done. She hung up. Sarah was already awake, sitting at my kitchen table with coffee. It is happening, I said. I know. We sat together in silence, watching the clock. 6 o'clock came and went, 6:15, 6:30. At 6:45, my phone rang. It is done, Agent Martinez said. Michael Chen is in custody. Vanessa is being questioned. We seized 4 computers, 2 phones, and boxes of financial documents. The evidence is overwhelming. How did he react? A pause. He tried to run, made it about 10 feet before officers tackled him. He is claiming this is all a misunderstanding, that you are confused because of your stroke, that Sarah manipulated you into making false accusations. Of course he is. It will not work. We have the forged signatures, the offshore accounts, the gambling records, his own text messages laughing about stealing from you, and we have yesterday's recording where he essentially confessed. He is looking at 10 to 15 years in federal prison. 10 to 15 years. My son would be in his 50s when he got out. What about Vanessa? She is cooperating, giving us information about Michael's creditors in exchange for a reduced sentence. She is terrified. Apparently, Michael owes money to some very dangerous people, and now that he is in custody, those people are going to come looking for their money. Will she be safe? We are working on that. But Mrs. Chen, That is not your responsibility. These are the consequences of their choices. She was right. What happens now? Now we build the case for trial. I will need you to testify, to walk a jury through what happened, to show them the impact of Michael's theft. Can you do that? Could I stand in a courtroom and testify against my own son? Could I look him in the eye and tell 12 strangers how he had stolen from me? Could I be the reason he went to prison? Yes, I said. I can do that. Good. I will be in touch about next steps. In the meantime, get some rest. You have been through hell. The line went dead. Sarah looked at me across the table. How do you feel? How did I feel? Relieved, guilty, angry, sad, vindicated, destroyed. I feel like I just killed my son. You did not kill him. You stopped him from killing himself. There is a difference. Maybe there was, or maybe that was just something we told ourselves to make it hurt less. 2 days later, James Morrison called with unexpected news. Mrs. Chen, I have been working with the FBI and the Cayman Islands banking authorities. We have recovered $280,000 from Michael's offshore accounts. What? It is frozen there. He cannot access it. And with the criminal case, we can repatriate those funds back to your accounts. It will take time, but you will get most of your money back. $280,000. Not everything, but more than I had dared hope. The rest? I asked. Gone, gambled away, spent on luxury items that have already depreciated. The car will be sold to pay restitution, but you will not get full value. The jewelry has been seized, but again, resale value is much lower. You are probably looking at recovering $320,000 of the original, $340,000 he stole. $20,000 lost forever, but $320,000 recovered. Thank you, James. I am just doing my job. But Mrs. Chen, I need to tell you something else. This morning, 2 men showed up at my office asking about you. Ice filled my veins. What kind of men? The kind Michael owed money to. They wanted to know if you had money, if you would be willing to pay Michael's debts to keep him safe in prison. What did you tell them? I told them I could not discuss client finances. They were not happy. I called Agent Martinez immediately. She is aware. But I wanted you to know. These people might try to contact you directly. What should I do? Do not engage. If anyone approaches you about Michael's debts, call 911 immediately. These are not reasonable people. They are criminals who will use any leverage they can find. After he hung up, I sat in my kitchen, staring at my phone. Michael's choices had put me in danger. Even from jail, his actions were still creating consequences I had to deal with. Sarah found me there an hour later. I just got off the phone with Agent Martinez, she said. She told me about the men at James's office. They want me to pay Michael's gambling debts, which you are not going to do. Of course not. But Sarah, what if they hurt me? What if they come here? Then we deal with it. Mom, you have the FBI watching your house. You have me. You have a whole system designed to protect you. She sat beside me. And you have something else. What? You have your own strength. You survived your husband's death. You raised 2 kids alone. You built a career teaching mathematics to hundreds of students. You recovered from a stroke. You discovered your son was stealing from you and you had the courage to stop him. You are not helpless. You never were. Tears burned behind my eyes. I do not feel strong. Strength is not about feeling brave. It is about doing the right thing even when you are terrified. And Mom, you have been doing that for 6 months. You just did not realize it. Maybe she was right. Maybe strength was not about being fearless. Maybe it was about being afraid and moving forward anyway. What happens next? I asked. Next, we rebuild. We get your money back. We make sure you are safe. We reconnect with your grandchildren when the dust settles. We create a life where you are in control of your own decisions. Sarah squeezed my hand. And we make sure Michael faces every single consequence of what he did. Will you help me? Mom, I never stopped wanting to help you. Even when you pushed me away. Even when Michael convinced you I was the enemy. I never stopped being your daughter. I am so sorry. I know, and I forgive you. Now let's figure out how to move forward. We sat together at my kitchen table, making plans for a future that did not include Michael. And for the first time in 6 months, I felt like maybe I would be okay. 3 weeks later, I sat in a federal courtroom watching my son be arraigned on 18 counts of elder financial abuse, wire fraud, and identity theft. He wore an orange jumpsuit. His hands were cuffed. He looked smaller than I remembered, older, defeated. When the judge read the charges, Michael stared straight ahead. No emotion, no reaction, like he was watching someone else's life fall apart. How does the defendant plead? The judge asked. Michael's lawyer stood. Not guilty, Your Honor. Not guilty. Even now, he could not admit what he had done. The prosecutor, a sharp woman in her 40s named Catherine Chen, no relation, stood next. Your Honor, the government requests remand. Mr. Chen is a flight risk. He has researched non-extradition countries. He has attempted to move assets offshore. He has demonstrated a complete lack of remorse for victimizing his elderly mother. Your Honor, my client has ties to the community, Michael's lawyer protested. He has 2 young children. Who he was planning to take to Mexico to flee prosecution, Catherine interrupted. We have his internet search history. We have his communications with international real estate agents. We have plane tickets he purchased for next month under a false name. The judge looked at Michael. Bail is denied. The defendant will remain in custody pending trial. Michael's head dropped. His lawyer whispered something to him. Michael shook his head violently. And then, for the first time, he looked at me. Really looked at me. I expected rage, or pleading, or the manipulation I had fallen for so many times before. But what I saw was worse. Emptiness. My son looked at me with dead eyes and mouthed 2 words. I'm sorry. Then they led him away. 2 days after the arraignment, Agent Martinez called. Vanessa is testifying before the grand jury today. She is giving us everything. Names of Michael's creditors, dates of conversations about stealing from you, text messages we did not have before. She is burying him to save herself. What will happen to her? Probably 18 months in a minimum security facility. Maybe less with good behavior. She has 2 small children, which the judge will consider, and she is cooperating fully. 18 months, while Michael faced 15 years. Is that fair? Fair is complicated, Mrs. Chen. Vanessa was complicit, yes. But Michael was the architect. He forged the signatures. He created the fake companies. He moved the money. Vanessa spent it, but she did not steal it. The law makes that distinction. What about the grandchildren? They are with Vanessa's parents right now. They will stay there while she serves her sentence. After that, she regains custody. Can I see them? Silence. Mrs. Chen, I would wait. Right now, they are being told a very specific story by Vanessa's family. A story where you are the villain who destroyed their parents' lives, where you are confused and manipulated by Sarah, where everything is your fault. The words hit like physical blows. My grandchildren think I am the bad guy? Yes, and I am sorry. But confronting them now will only make it worse. Give it time. Give them space to grow up and learn the truth. Right now, they are 8 and 10. They cannot understand nuance, but someday, they will. Someday. Years from now, when they were adults who might never forgive me. The local newspaper ran the story 3 days later. Local man arrested for stealing from elderly mother. Michael Chen, 42, faces federal charges after systematic theft of over $300,000. By noon, my phone was ringing constantly. Neighbors I had not spoken to in years, former colleagues from my teaching days, parents of students I had taught decades ago. Everyone wanted to know if it was true, if my son had really done this, if I was okay. Mrs. Patterson from next door brought over a casserole. I always thought there was something off about Michael. The way he talked to you, like you were a child instead of his mother. Mr. Rodriguez from 3 houses down offered to check my locks. You just let me know if you need anything at all. My former principal, retired now but still sharp, called personally. Dorothy, I want you to know that your reputation in this community is untouchable. What Michael did reflects on him, not you. Everyone who knows you knows what kind of person you are. But not everyone was supportive. Michael's friends rallied around him, posting on social media about how the system was corrupt, how families should handle problems privately, how I was a terrible mother for sending my son to prison. One of them showed up at my door. Kevin, Michael's college roommate, angry and aggressive. You destroyed him, Kevin said. He made a mistake, and instead of helping him, you called the FBI. What kind of mother does that? The kind whose son stole $340,000 from her, Sarah said, appearing behind me. The kind who refuses to enable criminal behavior. Now get off her property before I call the police. Kevin left, but not before leaving a parting shot. Michael always said his mother was cold. I guess he was right. Sarah closed the door. Do not listen to him. But I could not help it. Was I cold? Was I wrong to pursue this? Should I have handled it differently? Mom. Sarah turned me to face her. Michael's friends are defending him because admitting what he did means admitting they were friends with a thief who victimized his own mother. It is easier for them to blame you than to accept the truth about him. Do not let their guilt become your burden. She was right, but it still hurt. 6 weeks after the arrest, James called with good news. The Cayman Islands transfer is complete. $280,000 has been returned to your accounts. Additionally, the court seized and sold Michael's car. After fees, that is another $18,000. You have recovered $298,000 of the original $340,000. $42,000 still lost forever, but $298,000 recovered, more than I had dared hope. There is something else, James said. I want to establish a trust for you. One that requires dual signatures for any large withdrawals. You and Sarah, or you and me, or you and an attorney. Never just you alone. So this can never happen again. You think someone else will try? I think you need protection, and I think having a system in place gives you peace of mind. He paused. I also think you should consider changing your will. My will? Right now, Michael is still listed as a beneficiary. Obviously, circumstances have changed. Obviously. What should I do? Remove him entirely. Leave everything to Sarah. Or split it between Sarah and your grandchildren in a trust they cannot access until they are 25. Whatever you decide, we need to update it immediately. Remove Michael from my will. Erase him from my legacy. Pretend he never existed. I will think about it, I said, but we both knew what I would decide. 4 months after his arrest, Michael's trial date was set. But 2 weeks before trial, his lawyer called the prosecutor with a deal. Michael would plead guilty to all charges in exchange for a recommendation of 12 years instead of 15. Catherine Chen called me. I wanted you to know before I accepted. This means no trial, no testimony from you, no cross-examination. Michael admits everything and goes to prison. Do you want me to take the deal? Did I want my son to plead guilty? Did I want to avoid testifying? Did I want this nightmare to finally end? Yes, I said. Take the deal. The sentencing hearing was scheduled for 2 weeks later. I debated whether to attend. Sarah said it was my choice. Agent Martinez said I should go. For closure, so you can hear him admit what he did, so you can make a victim impact statement if you want. A victim impact statement. A chance to tell the judge how Michael's actions had affected me. A chance to speak my truth in front of him and the world. I decided to go. The courtroom was packed. Media, Michael's friends, Vanessa's family, curious strangers, and me, sitting in the front row with Sarah beside me. Michael was brought in. He had lost weight, looked older. The orange jumpsuit hung loose on his frame. The judge entered. "We are here for sentencing in United States versus Michael Chen. Does the defendant wish to make a statement?" Michael's lawyer nodded. Michael stood, his voice shaking. "Your Honor, I want to apologize to my mother. I was desperate. I made terrible choices. I betrayed her trust, and I will regret it for the rest of my life. I am deeply sorry." The words sounded hollow, rehearsed. The judge looked at me. "Does the victim wish to make a statement?" Catherine nodded. "She does, Your Honor." Sarah squeezed my hand. I stood, and I walked to the podium where I would speak about my son's betrayal in front of the world. My hands shook as I unfolded the paper I had prepared. But when I looked at Michael, the words I had written disappeared, and different words came instead. "Your Honor, my name is Dorothy Chen. I am Michael's mother, and he stole $340,000 from me while I recovered from a stroke." Michael would not look at me. But that is not the worst thing he did. The worst thing he did was make me doubt myself, make me think I was confused, broken, incapable. He used my love for him as a weapon. He used my vulnerability as an opportunity, and he laughed about it in text messages to his wife. Now Michael looked up, tears on his face. I want the court to know that I am not just a victim. I am a woman who taught mathematics for 35 years, who raised 2 children alone, who survived losing my husband and recovering from a stroke. I am strong. I am capable. And I refuse to be defined by what my son did to me. The courtroom was silent. I hope Michael gets help in prison. I hope he learns to take responsibility for his choices. I hope someday my grandchildren will understand why I did what I did. But mostly, I hope other elderly people who are being victimized by family members will find the courage to speak up. Because staying silent does not protect anyone. It just enables the abuse to continue. I folded my paper and returned to my seat. The judge looked at Michael. "Mr. Chen, you stole from the woman who gave you life, who sacrificed for you, who loved you unconditionally. You did not just steal money. You stole her peace of mind, her sense of safety, her ability to trust her own judgment. There is no sentence I can impose that will undo that damage." He paused. "However, I can ensure you face consequences. I hereby sentence you to 12 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised release. You will pay full restitution of $340,000, plus interest. You are prohibited from contacting your mother for the duration of your sentence and supervised release unless she initiates contact. Do you understand?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Then we are adjourned." The gavel fell, and just like that, it was over. Michael was led away. I sat in the courtroom, feeling nothing and everything at once. Sarah put her arm around me. "You did it, Mom. It is over." "Is it?" "Yes, it is really over." We walked out of the courthouse into bright sunshine, and for the first time in months, I took a deep breath that did not hurt. I stood in front of 30 seniors at the community center, my hands steady as I held the microphone. "My name is Dorothy Chen. 8 months ago, my son stole $340,000 from me while I recovered from a stroke." The room was silent, attentive. Some faces showed recognition. They had read the newspaper stories, seen the local news coverage. "I am here today to tell you what I learned, and to help you protect yourselves and the people you love." This was my 3rd presentation this month. Agent Martinez had connected me with elder advocacy groups. James Morrison had introduced me to financial literacy organizations. Sarah had helped me develop a curriculum. I was no longer just a victim. I was an educator again. teaching the most important lesson of my life. The first thing you need to know is that elder financial abuse is an epidemic. 1 in 10 seniors will experience it, and in 60% of cases, the abuser is a family member, a child, a grandchild, someone you trust completely. I clicked to the next slide. Warning signs. Sudden changes in financial situations, unexplained withdrawals, new people showing unusual interest in your finances, family members insisting on managing your money, isolation from other family members or friends. An elderly woman in the front row raised her hand. But how do you say no to your own child? That is the hardest part, I said. Because we love them, because we want to help. Because saying no feels like we are abandoning them. I paused. But here is what I learned. Helping someone means supporting their growth. Enabling someone means allowing them to harm you and themselves. There is a difference. I told them about Michael, about the forged signatures, the fake invoices, the offshore accounts, the gambling addiction he hid for years. I missed the warning signs because I did not want to see them. My daughter Sarah tried to warn me 5 years ago. I did not listen. I chose to believe Michael over her because it was easier. Because accepting the truth would have meant accepting that my son was not who I thought he was. Another hand. An older man, maybe 75. What should we do? If we suspect something? Document everything. Keep copies of all financial statements. Never sign anything without reading it completely. Get a second opinion from someone you trust who is not family. And most importantly, do not be afraid to report it. Even if it is your own child? Especially if it is your own child, because reporting it might be the only thing that saves them from doing something worse. Michael was planning to flee the country. He owed money to dangerous people. If I had not stopped him, he might have ended up dead. The room absorbed this. I am not going to tell you it was easy. It was the hardest thing I have ever done. Harder than losing my husband. Harder than recovering from my stroke. But it was necessary. And looking back now, I would make the same choice again. After the presentation, people lined up to talk to me. An elderly man whose daughter had been pressuring him to add her name to his deed. A woman whose son was asking her to co-sign loans. Another whose grandson kept borrowing money and never paying it back. I gave them Agent Martinez's contact information, James Morrison's office number, resources for legal help and financial counseling, and I told them what Sarah had told me. You are not responsible for fixing other people's bad choices. You are only responsible for protecting yourself. That evening, Sarah came over for dinner. A weekly tradition we had established after everything settled. How was the presentation? She asked, helping me set the table. Good. Emotional, but good. I poured wine into 2 glasses. A woman came up to me afterwards and said I saved her from making a terrible mistake. Her son had been pressuring her to liquidate her retirement accounts to invest in his business. She was about to do it until she heard my story. You are making a real difference, Mom. I hope so. I sat down. I received a letter today. From? Michael. Sarah's hand froze over her plate. What did it say? He wants me to visit him, says he has been going to therapy, working on his gambling addiction. He wants to apologize in person. Are you going to go? I do not know. I stared at my wine glass. Part of me wants to. Part of me wants to see if he has really changed. But another part of me knows that it does not matter if he has changed. What he did cannot be undone. And forgiving him does not mean letting him back into my life. You do not owe him anything, Mom. Not forgiveness, not a visit, not a relationship. Whatever you decide, it has to be for you, not for him. When did you get so wise? Sarah smiled. I learned from my mother, the one who taught me that strength is not about never falling down. It is about getting back up. We ate in comfortable silence for a while. Then Sarah said, "I have news. The grandchildren want to see you." My heart stopped. "What?" "Emma called me. She is 12 now, old enough to start asking questions. Vanessa is out of prison. She got 18 months, served 14 with good behavior. And apparently, Emma found the newspaper articles online. She read everything, and she wants to hear your side." "What about Tyler?" "He is 10, still young, still believing whatever his mother tells him. But Emma is different. She is questioning things, and she specifically asked if she could meet you." Tears burned behind my eyes. "When?" "Whenever you are ready. But Mom, you need to understand that it might not go the way you hope. She might be angry. She might blame you. She might not believe you even after hearing your story." "I know. But she might surprise you. She is smart, she is asking the right questions, and she deserves to know her grandmother." "Okay, tell her yes. Tell her I would love to see her." Sarah squeezed my hand. "I will set it up." 2 weeks later, Emma sat in my living room. She looked so much like Sarah at that age. Long dark hair, serious eyes, guarded but curious. "Thank you for agreeing to meet me," I said. "I wanted to hear your side. Mom, Vanessa, she says you lied about Dad, that you were confused from your stroke and Sarah manipulated you into thinking he stole from you. That is not what happened. Then tell me what did happen." So I did. I told her about the stroke, the power of attorney, the forged signatures, the $340,000, the gambling addiction, the offshore accounts, the FBI investigation. Emma listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Do you have proof?" "Yes." I pulled out a folder Sarah had helped me prepare. Court documents, bank statements, FBI reports, your father's guilty plea, all of it is public record. Emma read through everything, page after page, her face growing paler with each document. Finally, she looked up. "He really did this." "Yes. And he went to prison because of it." "He went to prison because he committed crimes, not because of me. His choices, his consequences." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I believed her, Vanessa. I thought you were the bad guy. I thought you destroyed our family because you were old and confused. You were 8 years old when this happened. You believed what the adults in your life told you. That is not your fault. But I said terrible things about you. To my friends, to my teachers. I told everyone my grandmother was crazy and mean. Emma, you were a child trying to make sense of something you could not possibly understand. I do not blame you for that." She cried, and I held her. My granddaughter, who I had not seen in almost a year, who had been told I was the villain, who was now learning that nothing was as simple as she had been told. "What about Tyler?" I asked when she calmed down. "He still believes Mom. He is younger. He does not ask questions the way I do." She wiped her eyes. "But maybe someday he will." "And until then?" "Until then, can I visit you? Without telling him or Mom? I know that is dishonest, but—" "You are not being dishonest. You are seeking truth. There is a difference." Emma smiled. Small, sad, but real. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Anything. Do you still love my dad?" The question hit me like a physical blow. Did I still love Michael? "I love the person I thought he was," I said carefully. "The little boy who needed me. The young man who had so much potential. But the person who stole from me, who laughed about it, who was planning to flee the country. I do not know that person. And I am not sure I can love someone I do not know." "That makes sense." Emma looked at the folder of documents. "Can I take these? I want to show them to my school counselor. She has been helping me work through some stuff." "Of course." She hugged me before she left, tight, desperate. "Thank you for telling me the truth, Grandma." After she left, I sat in my living room and cried, not from sadness, from hope. That night, I could not sleep. I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of tea, thinking about everything that had happened. The stroke, the theft, the investigation, the trial, the sentencing, the presentations, Emma's visit, all of it leading to this moment. This quiet night in my kitchen, drinking tea, finally at peace. My phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. "You okay, Mom?" "Yes, just thinking." "About what?" "About what I learned." "And what did you learn?" I thought about it, really thought about it. What was the hardest lesson I had to learn about people? Not that they can betray you. I already knew that. Not that family does not always mean loyalty. The world had taught me that before. The hardest lesson was simpler and more painful. That loving someone does not mean trusting them blindly. That protecting yourself is not the same as abandoning them. That saying no is sometimes the most loving thing you can do. Sarah's response came quickly. "That is wisdom, Mom. Hard-earned, painful wisdom, but wisdom nonetheless." She was right. I had paid a high price for this knowledge. $340,000, a year of my life, my relationship with my son, almost losing my daughter and grandchildren. But I had gained something too. I had gained myself back. The version of me that existed before the stroke, before the confusion, before Michael convinced me I was broken. I was Dorothy Chen, retired mathematics teacher, survivor, educator, grandmother. And I was enough. If you are listening to this story, I want you to know something. Your inner wisdom matters. That feeling in your gut when something is wrong. That voice in your head that says, "This does not feel right." That instinct that tells you to question, to verify, to protect yourself. Listen to it. I ignored mine for too long. I let my love for my son override my common sense. I let his manipulation convince me that I was confused when I was actually seeing clearly. Do not make my mistake. If someone you love is asking you to sign papers you do not understand, stop. Get a second opinion. If they are isolating you from other family members or friends, ask yourself why. If they are making you doubt your own judgment, your own memory, your own competence, question it. Because the people who truly love you do not need to manipulate you. They do not need to make you feel small or confused or helpless. They build you up. They respect your decisions. They honor your autonomy. And if they do not, then maybe they do not love you the way you deserve to be loved. I learned this lesson the hard way. At 68 years old, after losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, after sending my own son to prison. But I learned it. And now I am sharing it with you, so you do not have to learn it the way I did. Before I go, I want to ask you something. What is the hardest lesson you have had to learn about people? What experience taught you to trust your instincts? To protect yourself? To set boundaries even with the people you love? Share your story in the comments. Because your wisdom might save someone else from the pain you experienced. Your experience might be exactly what another person needs to hear to find the courage to protect themselves. We are all in this together. And together, we are stronger than anyone who tries to take advantage of us. Thank you for listening to my story. My name is Dorothy Chen, and I survived.